Roll call, please.
Mr. Rush,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder.
Yes.
Mr. McCullough.
Yes. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good.
Approve and/or corrections of the minutes of the regular meeting of the March 21st, 2016 meeting. Motion to accept.
Blue.
Second.
Rush.
Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder,
Yes.
Mr. McCullough,
Yes.
Mr. Rush.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, principal, supervisor, faculty reports, students. All right, JRTC, you're up. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Actually, well, I just want to pass out for you first. We'll explain later.
How about that? He's moving up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Cadet Major Nathan Apollo. I'm the current year battalion commander for the 2015-2016 school year and for the Wildcat Battalion. Serving as the BC, I'm responsible for all operations that the Corps executes and fails to execute. We currently have 26 active members in our battalion. However, I do not run the Corps by myself. I have an XO who's in charge of staff, a battalion command sergeant major, and 2 company commanders that supervise the battalion. We do our best to run the Corps to Lieutenant Colonel standards, which isn't easy by any means. Anyway, we do many operations within the Corps. Anything simple as filling a color guard at a sporting event, as you see at basketball and football games. Anything to planning our annual awards night, which takes months prior to planning. And within planning all these events, we required 4 mandatory events in 9 weeks. We do the homecoming parade, we have dining in, a mill ball, and the 4th 9 weeks is the awards night. And if all this planning, all these operations that the staff runs, how much Lieutenant Colonel and Master Sergeant think runs it? None at all. It's all ran by the cadets. They give some guidance, but we execute it all. And every year, the Kent and JRDC goes on a junior senior trip, which you're all aware of because we can't go without your blessing. And each kid has the opportunity to fundraise for it. As you can see, I attached to the op order of our junior senior trip a candy bar. That's one of our fundraisers we did, which one of our cadets, Jessie Broadstone, fundraised her whole trip, just candy bars.
All right.
During the senior trip, the senior class presents what they like to go. We all pick one, we present it to our senior class, and then we vote on it. The juniors put as much input as possible, but seniors make final decision. So this year, Stephanie, who was present with us at the end, she did a presentation about Boston, Massachusetts, which after end of presentations, we voted down the 2 left, DC and Massachusetts. And we all voted, it was unanimously 7-0 Boston. So that's where we went for our junior senior trip. And as you can see, the op order in front of you, we planned it ahead and we tried to deliver it best we can. But some stuff we can't control. Like on the first day, it says we did Freedom Trail, I believe. But however, the weather wasn't well that day, so we ended up moving to that Saturday. Yeah, during our trip to Boston, we flew out of Port Columbus. For many cadets, this provides the first opportunity for us to fly, like it was my first time flying as well. And we landed in Port Logan, or Boston, Port Logan. Yeah. Yep. And that's mainly junior senior trip. As you can see, the events on it as we did was very educational. I think the first day we spent was in the JFK library, which is my personal favorite thing we did that day. Some cadets spent 30, 40 minutes in there. I spent 2 hours in there. Yeah. Then we did many other like I enjoyed Freedom Trail, which walks you through the historical points of Boston, where the Boston Massacre happened, Paul Revere's house, his grave, and many other historical events. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
My name's Alyssa Rostifer. I was the drill team commander for this year. The main things you do as drill team commander, you have to do bus requests, seating charts, and definitely keep practices focused. We had a lot of drill competitions in March, like weekend after weekend after weekend, with different sequences at every competition, of course. So we had to have different commanders and focus practices. There's a lot of things you can learn with drill, and it's definitely a bonding experience. We have early morning practices at 6:30 in the morning, and even earlier report times for drill competitions, like 5 a.m. sometimes. The biggest things I've honestly personally learned with drill team is teamwork and integrity. If you don't work as a team with drill, you can't really earn anything because it's about what everyone does together. If one person messes up, it puts the entire team at stake for not placing. Also, with integrity, you're the only one who knows what's right and wrong in your head. For example, at the end of every drill competition before our award ceremony, we play knockout. I was playing knockout at our last drill competition, and I hesitated to perform a movement. A judge didn't see it, but I know I didn't earn to get an award, so I knocked myself out because I knew I didn't earn anything. Drill is definitely something that's helped me through high school. It's taught me how to get along with everyone, even if I don't like someone and it might kill me. I've got the chance to teach other people, like freshmen, everything I know and how to be good at drill just like I am. And most importantly, it teaches me what being a part of a team feels like.
Hello, my name is Alessandra Carter, and this is my friend Stephanie Durbin. She is my assistant on the rifle team. I have been rifle team captain for 3 years, and I have been a part of the rifle team for all 4 years of high school. First off, I would like to thank you guys for allowing us to go on these competitions and also providing transportation to and from these competitions. If it wasn't for you guys providing the transportation, we would have never gone to places like Port Clinton, Ohio, up at the CMP. We've gone to Western Reserve up in Hudson, Ohio. We've been to Indianapolis in Indiana and also Fort Wayne, Indiana. We've been to Fort Knox, Kentucky with the drill team as well, and Nashville, Tennessee, and the farthest that we have ever gone with the rifle team is Anniston, Alabama, and that was for Junior Olympics last summer. With these competitions, we have always met like really nice teams, and it was really great experience talking to the other teams and also the coaches. Like I said, I have been captain for 3 years, and I have qualified for state team 3 years, but this year we had some scheduling conflicts, so we weren't able to go to state team this year. But we did qualify for Junior Olympics this year again, and that will be in June on the 26th through the 28th. This year, like actually just this Saturday, was the Junior Olympic qualifier for us. And our team, to qualify as a team for Junior Olympics, you have to shoot a 20.25, and we shot a 20.99, which is a record for us. Yes. As rifle team commander, I have learned a lot of leadership skills from rifle, because I have to help get the team together for competitions, and I have to make sure that everybody has all their equipment, and I have to take that upon myself. And if I make that simple mistake where I don't check a rifle box, can blow the whole entire team off. So I take that into accountability. I also oversee practice. I make sure that everybody has everything that they need, and that Colonel knows when to actually start running practice for us and set the times and things like that. I have also, like, for 3 years, I have been helping to train during our rifle week, our rifle camp that we have, and I have helped train all of our rifle cadets that we have. But we have not just helped train Kenton. We have also helped train another school, they're Grove City down in Columbus, and I'll actually have Steph tell you guys a little bit about that because it was a pretty neat experience training these cadets.
Hello, as she said, my name is Stephanie Durbin, and we helped train the school up in Grove City. It's their first year shooting ever, and it was kind of funny because they came to our Kenton match, and the first thing me and Allie noticed is that, oh, we could probably help them. But of course, we weren't allowed to actually go up and talk to them until their coach said it was okay. And once we got the go-ahead for that, we actually spent most of the day teaching a separate class for them. And we teach that class, and we've taught our fellow rifle members how to shoot. And between me and Allie, I think we have approximately 40-something medals from rifle. And I was 3 points away from the school record, but we don't talk about that. Yep, I think that's all we have today.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I have a question for you. Where is the Junior Olympics held this year?
It is held up at the CMP in Port Clinton this year.
Okay. I apologize. I was going to try to come up Saturday and watch, but I had something else going on. I couldn't go. I've never been to a competition like that.
Oh, it's an experience.
It's a pretty nice place, isn't it?
Yeah, I would recommend if you're going to watch that you go to the CMP because you'll actually be able to see
what we shot,
what we're shooting. I'll admit, rifle is not a very fun sport to watch unless you go there because all you can see is the paper target moving, and then you're like, please tell me they did good.
I think they have electronic scoring.
Yes, they do. It is really neat to watch. So if you ever get the chance, go up to the CMP and watch. It's really interesting.
I had planned, but my plans got changed Friday night, so I didn't get a chance to go. But I really wanted to go up and watch Saturday. And
Well, we'll hope we'll see you
maybe
there.
June will work out better for me.
All righty.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
I think, are you up to speak? Everybody else done?
If you got questions on me,
Looks like you're doing a fantastic job.
I would like to say thank you.
Yes.
Our program is undeniably the best program in the state. Thanks to you. I'm moved. I really am. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
great job.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank your colonel because he keeps me informed. He sends out emails, so I know what you're doing. So.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's really been there for all of us.
Are you going to go on to college and shoot?
No, I am not. I actually want to go to Brown Mackie and become a vet tech.
Okay.
Very good.
Very good. Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you.
We all know it's a school night, so we are not offended if you leave while we do the regular meeting. We really appreciate you being here. You're welcome to stay, but it's not a requirement. We're just happy to have you here tonight.
But there may be a test tomorrow. So. Very good.
Good night, you guys.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
Just say yes, we need you to say yes and no.
We're ready. Okay. Public participation. John Cross. You're on.
Thanks, Mr. Board President. Good evening. John Cross with Hardin County Chamber and Business Alliance, and I just wanted to, I know you have a very busy agenda tonight, I just want to take a quick second to say hello, and I asked Jennifer if I could speak tonight to talk about some of the things that we are working on and focused on. First, we spent a lot of time in the last year and a half since I've been back working with our city councils and our village councils, and this is the first of several tours that we will make and visits with our school boards around Hardin County. The Economic Development Division of the Hardin County Chamber and Business Alliance is extremely involved in our schools and what you all are doing to prepare the workforce for those jobs and opportunities that are going to be available. I just wanted to share a couple stats with you. And first, let me say to Jennifer, our superintendent, who does a good job working with our businesses and our community partners. I know Principal Chad Thrush is here tonight. He's done the same. We've worked pretty closely together with this Wildcat Community Connector program with the State of Ohio Community Connector grant that we've received in the city of Kenton. I think we're very lucky, blessed, and honored to have those monies to help with career pathways. And what I have talked about is career prep. If we could change one thing, and is not to necessarily say college prep, but career prep, because there are so many opportunities that go different pathways. So some stats that I learned over the last few days that I think play right into our economic development strategies. There are 74 million baby boomers exiting the job market in the next 15 years. By 2050, if I'm still alive, there will be 20 million that will be 65 or older, which is 19% of the workforce. Currently, the average age of those in manufacturing are 58 years of age. As we bring it closer to home in Kenton and Hardin County, by 2025, less than 10 years from now, 50% of Hardin County's workforce in manufacturing will retire. Let that soak in. That's a good and bad problem. It's awesome because these students are going to have tremendous opportunities that we never did graduating from school, graduating from college, graduating from technical schools. The bad problem is that businesses clearly see this and they're making the adjustments they need, but they're also making investments. You look at Honda of America, who's a member of our organization. They are now developing gaming technology for 5th and 6th graders to get 5th and 6th graders excited about manufacturing. One of our board members, David Mulligan, who's the new plant manager for International Paper, is tremendously intrigued and involved with workforce development. Anytime we call him to ask for a group to do a school tour, not only does he want to give the tour, but he actually wants to take time to talk to students to really learn about their career pathways and what they want to do. Now, when the International Paper CEO was here for the groundbreaking of the new expansion, he said clearly we're not afraid to go to the high schools and recruit because that's where our best opportunities come from. Now, today I was with the Ohio House Speaker who toured a manufacturing facility in Ada, Ohio, and walking around with that plant manager, they said, some of our people here have been here for 30 or 40 years. And I asked him the question, are you really nervous about when they retire? He goes, absolutely. He goes, we're not seeing those who are excited about coming to work every day, being dedicated to the cause. And really, the word tradecraft is more of a word I think they use in the CIA, but I use it as tradecraft there's a skill set that these folks have. If you look at the folks who make these Wilson footballs, the amount of tradecraft and skill sets that they have to build football is unbelievable. Matter of fact, the Speaker of the House tried to what they call turn a football. No one could turn the football. And it's unbelievable how the things that they can do. So that's a skill set that obviously, you might not learn in the books, but there's some realistic and practicality to that needs to be taught. You all are ahead of the curve. There's nothing I'm going to tell you tonight that you don't already know. Your investment into Northwood facility, if I could be an advocate, is so important. As you think about your board strategy long-term, we desperately, and I've said this publicly and personally, my view is we need to be on the fast track to build that 7 through 12 facility, because I also think that we shouldn't tear down the old high school, that maybe that high school becomes the next STEM facility, much like they have in Marysville, Ohio, or that becomes the facility that Northwood grows into. So as you think about your buildings and facility strategies, you know there are manufacturers and firms in the county that are looking to do all they can to work through this. So to summarize, we've been working almost weekly, monthly on forming some strategies we've had a couple business and education summits with our business leaders in the community. And through this Wildcat Community Connector internship program, we've had about 20 students successfully in their internships for, Chad, you're saying probably how many weeks now? The second semester. And how long does that second semester last usually? Okay, so 12 weeks they've been in their internship program. And we've heard success stories from the sheriff's department talking about programs that these students have put together where they brief the sheriff on things. We have manufacturers looking to potentially hire these students. So this is a great program that we want to continue. But we're looking to do this with all the county schools. One of the things we're thinking about is Kenton does a lot of good things. We've sat down with Hard Northern University with their strategic planning. We've helped Ridgemont with their industry tours. So we're helping all of our county schools in different ways that they do their things. What we're looking at is what can we do countywide? So can we take all 5 school districts and next year host a manufacturing industry tour day? Maybe it's over 2 days, and we bus students logistically around the county, and we have half a dozen or a dozen businesses that go in tours. Now, some of you here at the school board obviously run businesses, run manufacturing firms. You also understand that time away from machines are also important and critical. So the amount of tours we can sometimes consolidate for large tours or large groups of school kids, the better, just so we're not making sure to interrupt operations too much. But we appreciate all that the businesses have done. And then everything from job shadow days, industry tours, where we obviously go on tours, but bringing businesses to the schools like they do. We might set up a table for a job and career fair or a science fair, do the same thing where we bring businesses into the school. And then lastly, we've talked about, we host job and career fairs, but we're thinking about hosting a job and career fairs for those 12th graders. Specifically early in the school year, so they can start learning how to build resumes and get ready to try to chase jobs or chase opportunities. Businesses will tell us that we like to look at those resumes as early as the late fall or maybe just after Christmas break. So we're trying to do things at a countywide level. And again, Kenton is at the forefront on a lot of this, and we're just trying to be smart. And I appreciate all of our superintendents across the county, our principals. There's a lot of things that they do that are unseen and unheard, and they really deserve a lot of credit because our businesses are listening, they're participating. We had a chamber legislative breakfast briefing where we had our 3 state, 2 state and 1 federal elected official in, and a lot of our superintendents were there and teachers to talk about what's going on with education legislation. So there's just a lot going on. So this, we want this to be an open dialogue. For you all to work with us at the Chamber of Business Alliance. Jen's been great. We spoke to all the staff the first day of school. I've been into the classrooms. I had a chance to guest lecture one day. We spent a lot of time building relationships with our teachers. We have the best teachers. We have great students. And it's just not about students either. One of the unique things that some school districts are doing is actually getting teachers out to do industry tours, getting the teachers out to learn what's happening in the workplace so they can continue to adapt and teach practical education in their classroom just as much as theoretical education. So with all that, long story short, we're here to help you. We're here to help with your strategic plan. Our strategic plan is very much workforce development because I can tell you there will be no economic development taking place in Hardin County if we don't have the workforce. And there are great challenges in our surrounding communities where they don't have the workforce, and they're doing everything they can to focus on putting people into the workplace versus brick and mortar deals. And so within a 45-mile radius of Kenton, Ohio, there is about 750,000 people, of which 400,000 are in the workforce. And so it's going to get competitive on that 45-mile radius. Every day we have 5,000 people that get up from their homes in Kenton or in Hardin County, and they travel outside to work. We have 2,500 people that wake up somewhere in Ohio, and they travel inside to Hardin County to work. And that's there's positive, negatives, but the positive with that is we have the workforce. If there are 5,000 people that are leaving here today to go somewhere, and you're bringing in a great business, a successful business, you have a chance to attract some of those people. If we're helping students with technical school or in high school and we're recruiting those students, the business will tell you we want people to show up on time, stay off drugs, and they're coachable and they're trainable. If I can get those 3 things, I'm going to have a great person in our company. And hopefully, like touring today, and some that work at Wilson Football have been there for 30, 40 years and have done some really great things. So thanks for letting me be here. You've got a great team, and we're glad to be a part of your strategies. And hopefully in return, you're a part of our long-term economic development investment strategies. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
It's a school night.
Absolutely.
That's right, so get home right now.
I got you a bit. Thank you all.
Thank you. Treasurer's reports. Motion to accept.
Like this.
Any discussion?
Just want to say that next month we'll be having an updated 5-year forecast. That's our time to do that. So right now we're on task. It looks, if you've looked at the budget versus actual.
Yes.
Very good.
Looks very good.
Okay. All right. Vote.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder,
Yes.
Mr. McCullough,
Yes.
Mr. Rudd,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
We're good. Superintendent's report.
Probably most everything will be discussed in committee, but just keep an eye on the school calendar because we have a lot of activities going on as the year is winding down. And you heard John talk about the Wildcat Community Connectors Educational Summit a little bit. That will be on May 12th at the high school. And so all of the students that have an internship will have their company with them, their partner, and they'll show their project and they'll talk about their project and what they've done. And ODE is supposed to come and do a story on our program and on our grant. So it'll be a pretty big day for Kenton. And that morning, we've organized the second educational summit meeting. So all the group will get together prior to, and then hopefully other businesses and other schools will be able to tour our presentation, our thing that we're doing in the gym so that they can see how we've implemented these partnerships and done these things. So that's really all I have.
Excellent. Okay, board committee reports. Finance committee, we met last.
Yeah, you'll have to go ahead. I was out of town, so.
Very good. Tracy?
I didn't bring it.
I didn't, I got my scribbly notes. You want to make any highlights on the finance?
Do you have an agenda?
I was trying to look.
Yes, I do, actually, I do.
Do you have an agenda? I can make it up.
I have it. My scribbly's on there.
No, you're
The best to
fine.
read, but
You'll see tonight, and I believe it's on the agenda, that we'll be hiring a new colonel for the JROTC program. And so we discussed what those contracts and those numbers would look like. It was an education for us. So we appreciate everything that these gentlemen offered. We talked about the HSA because that's where our Hardin County Insurance Consortium is moving towards. So we looked at that. SunGuard is a treasure system that WOCO is offering. It's all web-based, and we talked about prices and how, what that would look like for our district if we wanted to get involved in the first wave. We looked at our workman comps group, if we were going to stay with it, I believe.
Yes.
this is
And
our
then-
first year with them, correct?
Right.
Yes.
So we were looking through that, and then I think just some other things were just some staffing and hiring and how that would play out. We're in the process of filling those special ed jobs right now. You'll see a lot of them on tonight. We're not completely done with filling all the positions, but those that we had contracted before with Auglaize County that we talked about last month. So anything else you guys remember?
That's pretty much it. I mean, it was just mainly, those were the main things that we hit on. So I don't really think of anything else that we really need to. Dave, you got any questions or anything on it?
No.
All right. Facilities.
We haven't formally met since the last meeting. We are moving forward with the issues that we did talk about at the last board meeting. And we're currently doing some more discussion, but as having a regular meeting, we haven't had one since the last.
Okay. Extracurricular.
Yeah, we met on April 1st. We reviewed the kind of where we're in the WBL with the all sports trophy. We're currently 9th place. We looked over some of the winter sports and kind of where we stand with those. Wrestling, we obviously want to have more of a roster than what we have. Swimming, we did really well, but we are losing quite a few key swimmers for that. Bowling, first year, I think, for that. Is that right, Mike? So hopefully more participation in that. And we still need to get a girls soccer coach. So working on that as well. That's it.
We're good.
Where are we at in discussion on soccer, girls soccer in the middle school? Have we gained any ground in that
Mike?
respect?
You've got a,
Girls soccer in middle school. Right now, Coach Bartlett is working with some of the WBL coaches to find out who would be interested in scheduling games. He's putting in a lot of time getting together with school right now, he's maybe not WBL schools, but where the interest would be. The next step is they would meeting, I think, in the next week or two, to talk about a potential schedule. As high school teams are finishing up their schedules, they'll have a better idea of when they're playing home, when they're away, when the field would be good, what they're using the varsity field like we would be. So, and they share that with middle school boys schedule and just a full slate of events. But it's in progress. We're hopeful that they can get going and be a good opportunity.
Okay, just asking.
yeah, well, that's fine. Okay. Career Center?
Well, we're just wrapping up towards the year end, just like we are here. We still have right at 330 students involved in High Point from Kenton City Schools. A large class in the ag program in FFA, which I had the pleasure of attending their banquet Saturday night. It was well attended with over 350 people there that night, and there's a lot of great kids doing a lot of great projects. It's all good.
I agree. Policy, there's quite a bit of policy on there tonight.
There is, and you can see the policy in the agenda here as we get down through there. This is the easy part of the policy. It's the mandatory stuff. There really isn't a lot of, well, there's no movement for us. We get directed on the things that you see here. We do have, there's another policy meeting on the 29th, which I won't get to be at, but there are some things to decide at that meeting. And so the people on the policy committee now are issuing input through with Google Docs. So.
Okay, we're good. Any old business? Okay, we won this some new business. Item 10. This is about 3.5 pages long. This is one vote that I will have to abstain on, by the way. So it goes back. We have 1, 2, 3 pages. It encompasses all our coaches. This is an annual thing.
So let's put it in the motion and then we'll talk about it. I'll move. I'll move for section 10 personal items.
Very good.
Which is through Q, A through Q.
Very good. Second.
I second it, Rush.
Okay, so now we can discuss it.
There we go. We have elementary educational assistants. We have all of our substitutes. This goes on for about 4 pages in here. Like I said, I will have to abstain on this vote.
Well, so as is per normal every year, we're ending all supplemental contracts.
Correct.
So and that's why the list is so long. And then we have some substitutes for bus drivers, van drivers, cafeteria, custodial, educational assistant, secretary, names that you would that you see on the list each year. And then substitute teachers list. Of course, all of that stuff is BCI, FBI required.
And then 10H through 10P, those will be our hires that are coming in from.
Some of them, and it actually goes to 10Q on the next page. 8
Yes.
is your last one. So there's just the openings in the district, but most are created from adding the units.
versus in the past
All
was,
the questions.
They were higher, it was an
Auglaize.
Auglaize County
Okay.
unit, now they are a Kenton City School unit.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
but all the staff is not hired, they're still working on the process of interviewing and making everything happen.
okay.
David took care of that too.
Any other debate?
Well, just to clarify, Chad, on the van drivers, are those paid positions or volunteer? I just wanted to make sure because my son's listed and I knew that, but I wanted to make sure so I can vote on it.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Let's do that.
Any other discussion? Very good. We'll vote.
Mr. McCullough,
All abstain.
Mr. Rush,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr.
I
Helson.
was reading my name, yeah.
Imposter.
I'd vote for you, Russ.
Still works.
I was skipping you.
There you go.
I'm still here.
That's pretty good.
Very good. Item 11, authorizations and resolutions.
Watkins.
Second,
Blue.
all right, any discussion?
So the
Could you explain what the health partners,
Yeah,
maybe
we
just
can-
how that came around and what the plan is?
Well, how it came around was from years of work. So it's not a new model by any means, but there are federal grants and funding to help districts of high poverty. Really is where it came out of. So last, probably February, we were finally able to connect with them after they opened the center down by SB. And so we actually even got an expanded grant from when we met with them before. So what we're doing is this agreement would put a health center for students, for staff, for even parents of students. So think of it in a little kind of a more advanced clinic, if you will. The one at the high school will be staffed with a nurse practitioner. That person can actually get prescriptions to people and to families, which is great. Even our staff, so if you might not want to take a day off, but trying to keep, it's really helped with attendance, those kinds of things. The unit at the high school will also have a social worker that can go out and help families above, that's totally paid for through the grant. And they'll also provide a community service person who will be able to help people like make appointments, make connections. So it's really beefing up our care team. They'll also have a dentist come in a couple days a week and do analysis on teeth, and then they can actually be served at the center at SB, but helping families that might not, or students that might not get dental care. So that's what the high school will look like. At the middle school, I believe the certification is an LPN that they'll put there, which will be kind of like a nurse's assistant who can, we have no one currently, just so that you know, our only school nurse is at the elementary school. So this is a little different because it's a grant, it's not the exact same thing, but then at the middle school, we'll have this person, and then we have our paid social worker, the one that the district hires. So the middle school will now have a nurse practitioner, or I'm sorry, an LPN and a social worker there. And then at the elementary, we're adding, they're going to the grant, since we have a school nurse and we have an educational assistant that's an RN, they're going to add the social worker. So now the elementary will have its own social worker that can go out and do things. So it's a very great program. It will take about 90 days to see if we actually get the grant. And I shared out some forms with you. So how everything basically will work with a family is when you get all that new information at the beginning of the year, this will actually have to be a signed paper copy. Unfortunately, it has to be a real signature. But parents will be able to sign off that their child can be seen in the clinic. And so if the child's not feeling well, if something like that, the child can go to the clinic and receive treatment. Now, if the elementary, let's say we know the elementary, the only person that can prescribe right now is at the high school. but they can also shuffle around so that if the nurse practitioner needs to go to the elementary and treat for an hour or two a day, we can do that, as long as we have the 3 kind of centers in the grant. The primary center will be the high school. And I'll probably go ahead and mention it now on the consent form. We mirrored what Lima City has done as far as how they've worked with the health partners and created the program. Unfortunately, since they can prescribe birth control as well. But that general consent that you sign, we do not allow that to happen. So if there's something that happens and someone would want to be prescribed something, that's between the parent and the health partners. And it's a special consent, it's a special acknowledgement, and but they are able to. So I just want to make that clear. That was the biggest barrier I think that Lima City had as they started the program, but they have it mastered now. And I'm comfortable if the parent works directly with the health center, but that's not our business. That's not where our place. So, but I think overall it's going to be incredible for our district. I know Chad has sat in on every meeting and engaged in those conversations. Even if all we have to provide really is space. And then they do all the upgrades and those kinds of things. I think maybe a phone. We also have to provide a phone, which at the high school might be a little addition there. But we're really excited to do this partnership, and it's just going to really help us with helping families and to meet those, what I call non-academic barriers for families and for kids.
Is the grant federal or state?
Federal.
It's federal.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Lima, so what are the surrounding schools have
Lima,
a similar program?
Lima City would be the only one around us that has this kind of program, because they're probably the only one that I can think of that would have the poverty that we do. I mean, and you have to have a little bit of size. I mean, they want Kenton because they also have the center in SB, so it's a really good connection for them. They do all the hiring, they do everything, so it'll be an amazing program for our district.
Good. Anything else? All right, let's vote.
Mr. Rush,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder,
Yes.
Mr. McCullough.
Yes. Okay, item 12, approve the 2016-2017 school calendar. I guess we just have to take the motion or get it on the floor, then we'll have to pick out which option we want. Okay,
I'll move.
all right.
Second.
Well, we're moving to vote on the calendar.
Yep. All right.
We don't know which
let's-
one.
Let's discuss our annual.
Just to clarify which one's which, and I'm sorry I refer to them this way, but they're very similar. So one, calendar A gives you, it all has to do with the week of fair. We're just
That's right.
honest and real about it. So calendar A gives you 2 days the week of fair, which would be September 5th and 6th off, and then Kenton would be in session 7, 8, and 9. That's calendar A. Calendar B would give you the entire week off of fair, which is September 5th through September 9th. Now, the way we designed the calendars was to make them as similar as possible, but the start dates are different. So if you take calendar B, which is the fair calendar off, your first day of school would be August 18th. If you take calendar A, your first day of school would be August 22nd. And I know some people are doing the math and saying, well, that's not exactly, that won't make up the whole week. There's also a little difference at Christmas, I think, by 1 day, so. And just to be clear, we do a complete staff vote and allow people to vote on, it's not a vote, so let's be clear. What it is every staff member is allowed to give input on which calendar that they would prefer. By no means is the staff deciding the calendar. They're making a recommendation to the board. So, and that's everybody. That's administrative, that's classified, that's certified, and that vote was 60%, 60.2 if we're being exact for calendar B, and 39.8 for calendar A. And then what I did with the board was I broke it down by different subgroups And the administrative and the certified still preferred calendar B, but it was very close. The percentages were very close, and I didn't print that one off. And then for classified staff, it was very strong calendar B, with just a little bit of calendar A. And I don't know if you saw all of those. So that's all the data that we have to offer for which calendar.
What's your recommendation?
I don't know. I built
There you
two
go.
wonderful calendars that we can live by.
You're not going to recommend one?
Last year I did. You didn't vote for me, so I don't know if I'm going to tell you this year.
Chad,
Recommend
you got
yourself.
input?
I think Chad and I agree. How's that? Both calendars will meet the educational needs of our students, no matter what. I can tell you the pros and cons if that helps. One of the pros is that if we're in school, it allows teachers to get a routine and stay in a routine. To have a long break, people feel like they start over. A con is substitutes. Although we let students out for fair, then our staff have to use all their personal leave if they're involved in the fair. So, and that puts our principals in a hardship to get subs often, depending on the number of people that take off for those 3 days. And we know the fair is important. I will tell you this, which is my recommendation. No matter what calendar you choose, should you choose calendar A, we would ensure that every 4-H member was able to be out for the fair and be able to participate in whatever way they needed to. We've done that in the past when we've been in school fair week. So I would make sure that those things happen for those kids, that they didn't fall behind. If that's the direction you go. And if we do calendar B, then we just have a break in September and we just roll when we get back.
We've done both here lately. Of course, we did one where we didn't start till after, but how bad a disruption is that after, what is it, 2 weeks in and then a week off? How bad is that? Or how bad's not the right word.
Disruptive.
How disruptive to the flow of the beginning of the year is I've heard.
I think it's hard for elementary students. I really think that there's where the struggle is that they really struggle with that week. And it's just from the fact that they're just starting school and they're getting, I think they deal with routine issues because it takes 2 or 3 weeks to figure out how to stand in line and how to get your lunch and how to do those things. And when they have that week gap, they have to go and relearn those things. That's what I'm told from the elementary perspective. I have no middle school perspective, but Chad, if I can put you on the spot, if you have any high school perspective on what the disruption is, if they're in or not, like how much it affects high school.
Just for the sake of humor, my job the last 6 years has been to deal with this one. And I can just tell you that whatever happens at the fair doesn't stay at the fair. So but it doesn't matter which way you go with it, we're going to deal with that. So high school was.
It's our annual discussion.
Yeah.
Well, and it's unfortunate that we have to have it. It's.
So how do you want to do this? Just take the vote on.
Well, Mr. President, enter in the option and then we'll vote however,
And then
whatever option you put in.
And then I guess if that option doesn't go, we go back and go to the other option.
Well, you're either, whatever option you put in, let's say you put in A.
Yeah, right.
Put in A.
And that all gets voted no, then B becomes the,
Right.
B becomes the option.
Well, I'll be half hated or half liked tonight, I guess.
Well, is there any other information you need before you choose it that I can try to help you with or have you gotten all the information? We've tried to get you as much as we can.
There's good points to both calendars and there's off points to both calendars. I don't know.
Well, here's the
that,
thing.
but you don't know.
The whole 4-H and FFA Junior Fair program is a good program. It's been there for generations. And the fair is a very positive event for the community. It's a good thing. It's not really about that though. It's not that we don't support it or do support it. It's like what's best for the students, because it comes at a time. It's a bit of a disruption, and the timing of it maybe is a tougher disruption for the elementary students. Is what you're saying. So
that's what I've been told from
it's frustrating because we've been wishy-washy back and forth, this, and I.
And
Seems
last
like we ought to
year,
just start doing it and do the same thing, and that's the way it's gonna be, and we'll deal with it, and then we know what we're gonna do.
We need to pick one and probably stay with that.
I think that's true. So,
Because it's always the annual discussion.
yeah, and I've been on both sides of it.
14 years and it's never been pick one and stay with it, believe me.
So,
well, and last year we were able to get almost 3 weeks in before we had fair,
Right.
and we designed that purposefully. I mean, I do try to design calendars, and we have a committee that works to try to design things that are least disruptive. So I think Chad said it best, and whatever's chosen, we can make work, and we will make work, and we'll make sure that the kids and the staff are supported, and we can do whatever we need to do. You're not going to make a wrong decision. How's that?
Well, I don't think we're gonna make a right decision, is what it comes down to. That's what makes it hard.
regardless of which calendar you take,
Right.
you're gonna
Upset
disappoint some people. All right. Well, if you're gonna let me pick it, I'm gonna put probably calendar B in. Anybody else want to discuss any more about it?
Let's vote.
All right, let's get out of the way.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder.
No.
Mr. McCullough,
Yes.
Mr. Rush.
Yes.
Okay. Item 13. Approve a motion to go into executive session. Discuss- All right.
Rush.
All right.
There'll be no further action.
Nope, no further action tonight. Next regular board meeting will be May 16th, 2016, 7 PM. Well, yeah, we probably better do that.
Mr. Blue,
Yes.
Mr. Householder,
Yes.
Mr. McCullough.
Yes.
Mr. Rush,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Same bet time.
Bat station. Time is it, 8 or 7?
I did 7.
All right.
Should run. Guys, brought my supper.
Very good. 8:14.
On my lips, man on my hips, and me tighter than my dairy.